A wolf burst through the trees. He was huge, the biggest wolf I'd ever seen, and his golden hazel eyes were locked on me. The alpha was here, and I was not happy about it. Leave me alone.
No!
I mean it. I didn't care if I wasn't supposed to growl at an alpha like that, or if I made him angry. He wasn't going to have me, and he needed to know that. But he didn't look fazed at all. He just kept staring at me. Then he was moving closer, trying to make me scared, but I wasn't scared of his size or my safety. I was, however, scared of the way he could control me now that I was marked. I knew that during the season, a marked female could be hazed unnaturally by her marking male. All it took was a special touch, and he could make his female lover as hazed as he was. The second Aiden kissed my hand in the restaurant, I knew that's what he was doing. He didn't care about the chase or winning me over. He was just trying to fuck. Emily's voice had been strong enough to snap me out of the haze this time. But what about next time? Focus, Sienna. Your growls haven't done jack shit. He kept venturing closer. Time to show him you're not one of his tame she-wolves. Back off, bastard! Back the fuck off! We locked eyes, neither of us backing down, but before shit could get really out of control, we heard. It was Josh, in his blonde wolf form, and he was calling to Aiden. There were 4 wolves close behind him, big and serious looking. They looked like guard wolves. Something was off. What were they doing here? Aiden pulled his eyes away from mine and glared at Josh, but then the glare became a different look. One of urgency. Aiden went over to the wolves immediately, and I heard him giving orders through growls. I took a step closer to them, but then stopped myself. On the one hand, I needed to know more. Was this urgent forest meeting about me? But on the other hand, stop it, Sienna. You can't hang around to find out if Aiden is still hazed. This is your opportunity to get away, to protect yourself. I was running, one paw in front of the other, pleased with my responsible decision, when a shimmering figure stopped me in my tracks. Hello? But there was only silence in response. I took the woman in. She had skin as white as pearls. Her long hair was pitch black and her eyes were electric purple. She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. Her features were so perfect that it was like she was some supernatural, immortal being or something. I knew I was staring at her, but then I realized she was staring right back at me. Who was this woman, in her loose hiking pants and combat boots? A trekker? She wasn't a werewolf. She didn't have the scent. But she didn't smell like a human either. And she wasn't scared of me in my wolf form. But then this horrible sound overtook me. I shook my head, covered my ears, but nothing worked. It kept blaring. Make it stop! Someone make it stop! And then there were 2 shadows hovering over me. Hello? And when I looked at the woman for help to see if she saw the shadows too, she was gone. Completely gone. The ringing in my ears stopped. What the fuck? My mind was spinning. This night could not get weirder. I ran over to where the woman had been, trying to see if I could catch her scent, but my snout couldn't trace a thing. Was my mind playing tricks on me? Had she really been here at all? If she was real, what did she want with me? Why would she show herself and then just disappear? I slumped myself against a tree, and before I could stop it, my mind went back to Aiden, to what might have happened if Josh and the others hadn't shown up, pulling him away. The whole night reminded me how little I knew about partnering and the rules that govern a she-wolf once she's marked. I'd only known the haze for 3 seasons, while Aiden was an experienced lover who knew all the tricks. And he was the alpha, making his power stronger than the typical male wolf. You're in way over your head, Sienna. If I was going to stand any chance against him, I needed to figure out a way to keep him off me while we got to know each other. But even that didn't help me with the fact that I was saving myself for my mate, and Aiden was the furthest thing from a mate I could imagine. I wish I could fight my wolf nature and never have another haze. It was what had driven Emily to do what she did. I'd never want to be a human, but during the season, I was so jealous of their unaffected state. Human women didn't have to put up with this bullshit. They didn't have to submit to being marked and tricked into sleeping with someone, mate or not. They never lost control of themselves. Even though I was paired, it still wasn't safe for me to be in such a remote part of the forest alone. Only the most desperate, unpaired males were out prowling this late. I could handle myself. I had literally just challenged the alpha after all, but I knew I'd be in trouble if more than one male showed up and approached me. Last time I'd gotten lucky, but that didn't make me stupid. I was almost at the forest edge, headed for home, when I realized I'd ripped off the dress Aiden had bought me and left it somewhere by the road. In other words, I'd be naked when I shifted back. And it wasn't exactly encouraged to go around town in wolf form. Whatever. After stopping into the pack house half-shifted earlier, I could handle a few disapproving glances now. I kept to the back roads until I got to my street. But then, when I got to my street corner, the weirdest thing happened. The street lamps began to pulse and my vision blurred. I became disoriented and it felt like all of my senses were dulled. What did that woman do to me? But then, I was at my house. I tried to bound over the fence to the backyard, but my hind leg got caught in a slat and I fell, thudding to the ground. I looked up, trying to get my bearings, and that's when I saw a shadowy figure approaching me. I ran to the back door and scratched helplessly, my paws unable to work the knob, no time to shift back to human form. The reality hit me. I was cornered with nowhere to run. I wanted to howl, to claw, to fight back, but I was frozen. I couldn't do anything but wait.